Well, hello. I am back with another signature. It's number 4, and my deepest apologies. It is finished, so I'm going to walk you through with what I did. But first off, I owe you guys a huge apology. I get somewhat annoyed and frustrated with my iPhone because I think I've got my settings set correct, and I even stood up to make sure the video was actually in process. What I didn't realize, it was time-lapsed. So a 40-minute video was done in 35 seconds, and I Googled, I have no way of changing that. So I am standing up, I'm even watching right now. I am on a regular video, so I'm gonna have to walk you through with what I did. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Okay, so this is a piece I used for my base page. It measures at 8 1/4 across by your 8 3/4 in the height. That's been the standard. It will change when we get to this back panel. You should have in your trimmings a long piece that says have a cup of positive tea. And what I did is I cut it in between the word of and positive. I backed this onto cardstock, and then I've taped it up across here. This really pretty tea setting came out of the A4 cut apart, so I trimmed it out. To give it some sturdiness, I did back it on some green cardstock, and then I taped across the bottom so that this is used here as a tuck. This photo mat, the way it was actually trimmed, is 5 1/8 in the height, and it is 3 5/8 in the width for you to put a photo here. Now, I went ahead and covered mine because putting just a piece of green cardstock on here, to me, it didn't look very good, and this is going to go on my Etsy site, so I wanted it to present really pretty, so I did cut out the trimmings. This is actually the reverse side of this paper. Now, you have 2 of these large cards that you're going to cut them out, and then you're going to trim additional paper to put on the front. This paper on both of these, we hadn't really cut into it yet, and it is the one that's got the hydrangea cluster here on the bottom, and then the big floral cluster up here at the top. So these measure, without this trimming, these measure at 6 1/2 inches across, and then you have a 1/2 inch score, and then these are going to get taped under this collection paper, and you're going to tape it just in front of this 5/8 score that you will be creating, so I'll get to that in just a minute. And then this measures at about 1 1/4 inches, and again, this is out of scraps. Now, this panel right here, this big one, I'm going to come in, it measures at 6 5/8 across by 8 3/4 in the height. And then you're going to come in here and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch. So when you put this smaller panel on, you're going to put it in front of the 5/8 score line, but you're not going to touch it. You're going to snug right up next to it because you don't want to interfere with this page actually turning over. You don't want any bulk in here. And then you're going to go ahead and decorate your paper, put on your pocket. Now, this is enough space right here that you can still commit a photo, or you can commit a wider photo and just tuck it in. Now, over here, this is the paper that I used to cover this side here. And unfortunately, I don't have any scraps to show you what the reverse side is, but it's the one with the birds. It says Fine Teas, and it's got the teacup, and then it's got some floral embellishments. So this tuck that I put here is approximately 1 to 1 1/8 in width, and then plus the decorative edge, and then this came out of your A4 cut-aparts, and I just glued this piece of it so that it would go down so that we have a nice tuck here. Now, before all this went down, you do have to set your magnets, and my magnet is sitting right here. So let's come over here. These two are going to be closed. So it's going to be left over right, and that's where you're going to place your magnet. I came in about 1 inch here on this side, and then it placed my magnet almost the center on this side. So this panel over here, without the decorative edge, measured in at 6 5/8, and then you have your 1/2 inch score. You have your 5/8 score, and then you're going to do the same thing. You cut an exact panel just like this, so it's 6 1/2 across. You have a 1/2 inch score, and then this is 5 1/2 inches in height, and again a 1 to 1 1/8 little pocket. But you're going to put this down before you put the collection paper down, and when you put it down, you're going to put it down so that your hinge right here is just a fraction of an inch in front of your score line right here, because you don't want to have any bulk. You don't want to be in this hinge area here. So then you're going to close this, and you're going to set your magnet, and then you can finish decorating. Over here, I made a bottom pocket. I had intended it to be 2 long pockets, but after getting it all together, I realized that putting it here, it's too much bulk because we've already got this built in. And I couldn't put it here on the edge because I can't cover this magnet that's right here. So I trimmed it down and made a nice bottom pocket. And you have a spot up here where you can still commit a fairly decent size photo. And again, this is out of the A4. I did embellish these a little bit by putting on some pink little gems that I have in my stash. These you can do some journaling on, or you can place some photos in here and allow for the framework on both of these to act as an accent behind your photos. So then on this piece, this cut piece is the right side to this. So these are 1 12-inch across. And I did not want to cover this up. I think this is so elegant down here. So I took and cut out one of these little tucks, backed it on some cardstock so that you can tuck it there, and I don't have anything interfering with the magnets. So that's what I did on this page. So again, I apologize. I will strive to be more attentive to my videos. So I hope you're hanging around. We've got one more to do, so I'll see you then. Bye-bye.